Confusion, confusion, and confusion. All we have is confusion regarding the recent repealing of 3 farm laws. Some are frustrated at the government, while the other lot is celebrating it as a victory of goons over the government. What if I tell you that both the groups, frustrated as well as celebratory, are wrong? Don't be so surprised when I tell you that the repealing of the farm laws serve a greater purpose, and it will be a shining beacon for the farmers across the country. I won't confuse you any further. Let me tell you the entire logic and our analysis behind the repealing of the 3 farm laws. Hi and welcome. You're watching TFI English, the national socio-political analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host Piyush, and in this video I will tell you how the farm laws have just changed shape. Let's begin. On the auspicious occasion of Gurpurb last week, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced the decision of repealing the 3 revolutionary farm laws. The decision was sudden and took everyone by surprise. But as the shock factor has subsided, one can observe that the farm laws have simply changed their shape while BJP has cut its losses in one swift motion. PM Modi repealing the 3 farm laws came at the heels of the Supreme Court's decision earlier this year. In January, the Apex Court had stayed the 3 farm laws and also formed a 4-member committee to talk to the protesting farmers and the government stakeholders. Succinctly put, the farm laws may not have been implemented even if the farmers had ended their protest overnight. The judiciary system of the country is infamous for its lethargy, and the legal proceedings would have meant that the farm laws would have stayed in limbo for eternity. Moreover, with the election season approaching in 2 big-ticket states, Uttar Pradesh and Punjab, BJP could not have gone unprepared. In Western UP, where most of the Jat vote bank resides and which has given overwhelming support to the BJP in the last elections, could not be ignored anymore. Thus, specifying them became an important task at hand. Similarly, with Amrinder Singh's civet of repealing the farm laws being the only hurdle in his merger with the BJP, the Saffron Party did not want to take any chances. Even with a self-destructing Congress, a renewed Shiromani Akali Dal and a dark horse in Aam Aadmi Party vying for the majority in the 117-seat assembly, BJP needs all hands on deck. With Amrinder around, BJP has an outside chance of scripting the unthinkable. That being said, the repealing of the farm laws comes at a time when it has already started to reform the agriculture sector. The BJP-ruled states have already brought their versions of the central laws without any protests, and farmers are already reaping the benefits. In December last year, the BJP government in Karnataka, then led by B.S. Yediyurappa, passed the Karnataka Agriculture Produce Marketing, Regulation and Development Amendment Bill in 2020. Its version of the centre's Farm Produce and Trade Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Act 2020, which sought to modify the APMC law. Uttarakhand's Agriculture Minister Subodh Unyal remarked the centre's laws were already put on hold due to the Supreme Court's decision in January, staying their operation, and the repeal will have no impact on the state's Uttarakhand Agriculture Produce and Livestock Marketing Act APM Act 2020, modelled on the central farm laws. Moreover, Uttarakhand and Karnataka weren't the only states to implement a version of farm laws. Others include Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh and Himachal Pradesh. And if we look down south, Kerala's Pinarayi Vijayan government that has been protesting against the farm laws at the top of its voice has its own version of the central laws. The southern state does not have any mandi system in place, as it claims it has a strong grassroots level procurement system in place. A rough iteration of the first farm law is that the farmers have the freedom to sell their produce anywhere. The farmers in Kerala are already doing the same, and yet the left has a problem with implementing the same law on a national level. As reported by TFI, while a poor state like Bihar removed the compulsion to sell in the APMC over 14 years ago, Punjab and its farmers are still refusing to usher in the new reforms. After freeing the shackles of APMC, Bihar's agriculture growth in the past 1.5 decades has been around 8%, which is 3 times more than that of India's average and 4 times that of Punjab. Despite the state government not providing the best of facilities, such a quantum leap is astonishing. Imagine if Punjab had clocked in the same changes a few years back or had stuck with the farm laws. As for the removing of artiyas, the middlemen between the government and farmers in food procurement system, is concerned, The Union Minister of Consumer Affairs and Food and Public Distribution, Piyush Goyal, in April this year had kick-started the One Nation, One MSP, One DBT initiative. Announcing the decision on Twitter, Goyal had remarked that Punjab will get the payment for the products sold at minimum support price or the MSP directly in their bank accounts. He added that once Punjab-based farmers receive payments in their bank accounts for selling farm produce at MSP, the system would have also been made applicable on a pan-India basis. Those concerned with the hoarding laws and fearing that big companies would have hoarded the supplies should understand that middlemen are the biggest hoarders in the current archaic setup. They hoard the supplies and only release them when the profits are amplified. These middlemen are called Artiyas. The Artiyas have the political backing, and charging them with any penalty or fine has been a worthless exercise, as the entire procurement process remains rather unprofessional and informal. The three farm laws were supposed to bring in parity to small farmers who were often raised by the big farmers and Artiyas. However, given the monster the protesters had metamorphosed into in the last year by hijacking the national capital boundaries, with Khalistani feelers openly roaming amidst the protesters, the losses far outweighed the gains made by the introduction of the laws. With the other BJP states set to bring in their iteration of the now repealed central laws, the non-BJP and protesting states will be gawking and missing the reform train. A few years down the line, when the new laws will start to show their benefits, the protesting farmers will realize that they punched their fortunes on the wrong reform locomotive.